How's it going, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week, which means it's almost done. We are on the downward slope, finishing out the week here. But as always, we have an interesting topic for today. So based on a lot of different questions we've gotten in conversations with customers over the last few weeks, we decided it was time to create a mallet buildings post-frame glossary. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of terms we use here every day that to us and in the industry seem just like a normal word like everything else. However, sometimes people who don't talk about this every day don't always understand exactly what we're talking about. So we want to make sure we clear that up today and give you all those helpful hints and words. But before that, as always, let's get into the episode. So we want to start off with where's mallet. This week we began the week with 91 different job locations, you guys, ranging from Waco, Tyler area, past Shreveport, into Mississippi, New Orleans, down through the Houston area. Got a lot going on. The logistics is crazy. 67 of those job locations were in Louisiana. The reason this number is a little different is because some locations have multiple jobs going on. As you can see here, where was it? Anywho, some of these have multiple jobs in the same location. However, let's go over what that looks like. So in Louisiana, we have 67 different jobs going on just this week, and that's from delivery to materials being scheduled to be on the ground, in construction, fill sand, forming, plumbing, concrete, gutters, electrical, red tags, all those fun things, you guys. I want to start off by showing you that. Now in Texas, we have 22 job locations. Here it is. We have Alvin, multiple jobs going on there. Then we have, again, the other things that we normally do, 22 jobs going on in Texas. Now you've seen where's mallet. Let's talk real quickly about why mallet. And tomorrow, if you want to tune in tomorrow, Mr. Trent will be going deep into why mallet, and he will be comparing everything from the rival to the elite building and the true cost and value with each of those jumps in buildings. So please be sure to check that out. It's going to be very, very informative. But before then, let's go ahead and tune in to what we have here. The Rival series, this is what we've created, as he says, to match the competitors' builds. Now, what I mean by that is, this is not a mallet building, however, we build it. Now, what does that mean? These are materials that we don't normally use, but we decided we do need a budget building. Now, we understand here at Mallet that we are not the cheapest building, but that's for a reason, because we're not the cheapest building. We have buildings that are going to withstand the test of times, whether it be snow, hurricanes, storms, crazy weather, how Louisiana does, as we know, and Texas and the surrounding areas. This Gulf Coast region just has some insane weather. We're building to last through that. Now, what the Rival does is we're going to scale back on the quality and intensity of some of our engineering and materials used, and what you're going to get from that is a cheaper building. Now, this is a good building. This is something that's going to store your materials. It's going to be a shop, whatever you need it to be. However, this is what it comes with. 29 gauge metal, 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 trusses. We're going to use common flat trusses. We're going to be 130 mile an hour wind load rating, no uplift control, so we're going to cut back on the cable lock system. We're going to cut back on the post pads underneath the post, so no post pads. 2x8 as opposed to 2x12 headers. 3,000 PSI concrete, not microfiber reinforced. No ground protection, so no skirt board guards. Limited warranty, and we're going to use #2 untreated generic lumber. Now, again, what does that give you? That gives you a legal, built to code, built to industry standard building. What it does not give you is a mallet quality building. Now let's look at the difference in that. So we're gonna have, as in every building, 26 gauge metal. It's gonna be thicker, more durable, stronger than 29 gauge metal. 5-on-12 roof pitch, you're gonna have more of an elevation in that pitch. So at the peak, it'll be taller, allowing for a bigger slope in the building to help with rain, debris, runoff, all those sorts of things. You're gonna have 2x8 cathedral trusses, you guys, and that's gonna be 2x8 all the way through. Also commonly called scissor trusses. And these are gonna be 2x8s, again, all the way through. They're not gonna have 2x4, 2x6 inner webbing as a lot of other people do. These trusses are also going to be third-party inspected. We have a company from out of state that comes in and verifies we're doing everything we say we're going to do to make sure we're meeting not only code, but the expectations that we're setting. We're also going to have the roof system is going to have a 170 mile an hour rating across all of our buildings. And the Classics is a 140 mile an hour wind rated building. The Signature being 150, the Elite being 160. Already a huge jump from the 130 that most of the other people in our industry build with and the Rival series. And that 10, 20, 30 mile an hour difference is huge. In hurricane season, it's going to make a big difference. Now, speaking of hurricanes, we're going to have the mallet cable lock system on every mallet building. What is the cable lock system? That is a series of 1/8 inch aircraft cable that goes from post to post, where it is attached to an eye bolt, a very heavy duty thick eye bolt that is screwed into the base of the post. Now, this attachment throughout the entirety of the building like that doesn't exactly do too much at that point, but what makes it so cool and where we create the dead weight is this 4-inch 4,000 psi microfiber reinforced slab is going to be poured on top of it. Now, once that slab settles and dries, it's going to lock those cables into place as well as create dead weight on holding the building down. Now, as you may know, in post-frame construction, there is no weight that is distributed onto the concrete. It is not a structural foundation. All of the weight is put into the post, and it's going to be going straight into the ground. Now, that is where the concrete under every post comes in handy, because it's sitting on a 80-pound bag of concrete that's been poured into each post hole, supplying a base and a firm foundation. Now, that cable lock system again is going to push all that weight of the concrete slab onto that building, creating dead weight. So there's going to be no parachuting, no uplift of your building if a hurricane comes through and rushes in. And this is the same reason that this building, after 16 years, has been through multiple hurricanes and survived pretty dang well. We're on the 2nd floor and we're still here. Even though it's crazy windy outside right now, we're still going strong. Now, again, we're gonna have 2x12 headers. We're gonna have 2 of those. We're gonna have the 4-inch 4,000 PSI concrete with microfiber reinforcement. We're gonna have skirt board guards. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. 4-year workmanship warranty, with the Signature having a 6-year and the Elite having a 10-year. Most of our competition has not even been in business for 10 years, let alone can offer a warranty like that, so that's another benefit here. Everything we use is going to be #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber. Now, the MCA treatment is going to help prevent wood destroying insects, the elements, things like that from rotting and eating your wood. The kiln drying is going to dry to a specific temperature, pulling out the excess moisture and chemicals, so when you screw anything into it, it's not going to have all that juice that comes out, which also means by the time that it is set into place, the elements aren't going to be able to dry it out because it's been pre-dried, allowing less warping, cracking, and splintering of your wood, which prolongs the life of your building. Also, we're going to have our in-house engineering oversight. You guys, we are also a licensed engineering firm here. You meet Mr. Darrell every Monday on Engineering Monday, and he and his team are always looking for ways to not only better our buildings, but to ensure that the process of the build is pretty much as perfect as it can be from start to finish, not only in the design concept, but in the building of it as well. Because as he says, it's one thing to have a concept, it's another thing to be able to execute that concept, and we do that incredibly well. This is a reason why. So that's the quick difference in the Mallet Classic building and the Rival. Again, tomorrow, Mr. Trent is going to be doing a phenomenal deep dive on the costs associated with each of these different tiers, as well as the benefits of jumping from one to the other. Stay tuned and watch for that tomorrow. It's going to be great. Check us out at 4 o'clock. Moving right along, when you are looking to purchase your mallet building, we want to make sure you have an opportunity to get some cash back. And every single day, we want to make sure these heroes get that cash back. If you are a healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, or teacher and educator, we consider you a hero, and we thank you for what you do for not only us, but the people in the community and the community itself. So every day we want to give you $500 off just for being who you are and doing what you do. That is going to go towards any tier building, $500 as a thank you. Now, a cool thing you can also do, if you comment cash, we're going to give you $1,000 off when you upgrade to an Elite or Signature building. Now, this does not apply to specials or promotions. However, it's $1,000 off for 4 letters. That's $250 a letter, you guys. That's some expensive letters. This is like a Wheel of Fortune in here. But you comment cash, you'll get $1,000 off your next Elite or Signature building. Now, speaking of specials and promotions, let's talk about that. We are in the final week of February. That means this special is going to be going away. Now, this month has been all about the classic building. As you can see here, this 30 by 40 by 12 was $32,389. We've knocked it down to $29,499, as well as throwing the special on there. What is the special? Any classic building for the remainder of this month only that you choose to having 1,000 square foot or more on the blueprint is going to get free single bubble insulation, as well as all the amazing features of the classic building with a roll-up door, the 4-year workmanship warranty, and the concrete included as always. Check that out, you guys. Again, the special ends at the end of this month, which is the end of this week. So don't miss out. If you want to have your classic with free installation, be sure to get that locked in before the end of the week. Now, speaking of classic buildings, we have the Cajun Oasis Classic. It is a 30 by 50 by 12 for $49,999. Now, what comes with this? We're going to have insulation, a climate control package, basic electrical package, as well as a 5-ton wall-mounted unit, as you can see here. What you can also see is that electrical package and 5-ton unit are going to be a $16,000 value for free. It is thrown in there. You don't have to worry about it. You can also ask about spray foam, and this is just a gorgeous building. This is one of my favorite. It has been a special for a while because it's been selling like crazy, but it has reached its end and we are swapping it out here shortly, maybe in March. However, we will continue to have this as long as we can, but new specials and promotions are coming. Now, if you've been around, you know there's not just a classic, there is a Cajun Oasis Elite. It is, again, all the features. You get a $16,000 value here as well. Again, you get the wall-mounted unit, but you get the benefits of an elite building, and it's only going to be for a $10,000 difference. Now, the jump from classic to elite is nearly $20,000 if you want to add all of the features, but here's what you get for $10,000. A couple of features I like. Of course, you can notice there's an extra window, but you're going to get gutters, you're going to get post protectors, you're going to get 6-inch 4,000 PSI concrete with microfiber reinforcement. You're going to get adjusted post and truss spacing, supplying better wind load. You get 160 mile-an-hour wind load rated building here, amongst tons of other features, you guys. That's just to name a few. But again, the Oasis is going to be gone soon. Please be sure to check it out. If you're interested, give us a call at 337-214-0428. We'd love to get you on the books because this won't be here forever. So if you're looking at a building, now is the time. Check it out. Get the Oasis for you. All you have to do, hook up your power. It comes with electrical. It comes with AC. It comes with heat. It comes with insulation. This is pretty much a house, you guys. You can finish this out however you want, whether it be an in-law suite, a home gym, an office, workspace, workshop, whatever it may be, the Oasis is here for you. Now, when you are considering buying a building, we ask that you take a second to consider the 5 red flags. This is a list we love to talk about because a lot of people, we see it every day. There's just some dishonest people out there. And we want to make sure you can avoid those dishonesties as much as possible. To do that, we've made the 5 red flags. Red flag number 1, years in business. You want to check the Secretary of State website. This is going to first show if they are a licensed business, because if they're trying to operate without being a licensed business, well, first off, that's illegal. And second, that could be a huge pain in the rear end come any insurance claims you may have, because you can't sue the business if there is no business. But check that at the Secretary of State website. You can also see if they are a licensed business, how long they've been licensed. Here at Mallet, we've been around for 27 years and going strong. We're super proud about that. These things you can check out at the Secretary of State website. Now, on the topic of licensure, if you check out the LSLBC, or the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, you can see what kind of contractor's license they have, because here in Louisiana, we have to have contractor's license. Now, that being said, if you're having work done on your personal property, it's going to be a residential license. There's also commercial, industrial, and all sorts of other licenses. Please be sure you check at the LSLBC to make sure the person you're considering doing business with has the proper licensure. Now, while you're at the LSLBC, you can also check for contractor violations. This is a big one because it happens more than I would like it to. There's already been several cases this year. People have actually called us and told us about their negative experience with other businesses, who 2 of which are actually no longer in business as of this year, probably because of things like this. However, you can check for contractor violations. This is times that business or contractor has broken the law, and unfortunately, it's just when they've gotten caught. However, this is where you can check that out, and we're proud to say here at Mallet, in our 27 plus years, we have 0 contractor violations. So be sure to check that at the LSLBC. Now, while you're also doing some research and reviewing, please be sure to corroborate with the reviews on the BBB and Google. Between the two, we personally have over 700. Now, 4.98% out of 5 stars, that's 98, 99% of those reviews are 4 to 5 positive star reviews. There's always some negative. People who don't have a pleasant experience, whether it be always or just with us, that's to be determined. However, we encourage you to check out the response, both on the good and the bad, just to see how the customer journey went for these people. Now, check that out at the Better Business Bureau, where we are A+ rated and accredited, and Google. Now, finally, visit the contractor's facility. It could be a red flag if you're doing business and signing contracts in the front seat of somebody's truck. Now, everyone has to start from somewhere, we understand. However, don't you feel like it'd be a little more comforting to know that the person you're doing business with has invested into putting forth the effort of having an office at least, whether it be just a simple one-room office somewhere or a massive facility like we have here at Mallet? That's my opinion on that. However, this is something we have decided it's worth considering. Now, if you do come visit the facility here, you'll notice we have the truss operation where we build every truss in-house. We have the gutter plant where we do all of our gutters. We have the roll form plant where the metal is going to be pressed here soon. We have the packing and delivery area where everything is prepared to be shipped out, as well as everyone on the staff here. You can meet your engineers, your designers, your building crews, your scheduling crew. You can meet whoever you'll be talking to during the process and after is here at the facility. I want you to come shake some hands and say hello. Now, to the topic at hand for the day, Mallet Buildings Post Frame Glossary. Now, these are a list of common terms that we see are used every day, and a lot of people have questions on what they mean. Let's talk about that. So number 1 is the post. Now, this one is a little straightforward and simple, but you always gotta start with the easy one. What is a post? A post is a vertical structural column embedded into the ground that supports the entire building. Why does that matter? Posts transfer roof and wall loads directly into the ground, eliminating the need for a continuous foundation wall. That's what we talked about earlier. All of the structural weight of the building goes onto the post in post frame construction. That being said, there is no weight on the concrete or the foundation, whatever you choose to do, whether it be leaving it dirt, making it concrete, stepping stones, truly whatever you do, there's no weight on that unless you put weight on that, which in post frame construction, you do not. That being said, the posts are a vital and important part of the building. You can't have a post frame building without the post. So that's why the posts are important, and if you were wondering what those were, that is what a post is, and here is a photo reference. These obviously are the posts. You have some post protectors at the base here, and these are the posts. Here at Mallet, we use 6x6 posts for all of our buildings. Moving right along, embedment depth. What does that mean? The depth at which the posts are set into the ground. We get questions all the time, how far into the ground do you set your post? Here at Mallet, it is anywhere from 3 to 4 feet, depending on the environment and the building and the conditions of your property. Now, why that matters. Proper embedment ensures structural stability and resistance to wind uplift. We mentioned just a second ago that all of the weight of the building goes on the posts. So you don't want to have it just a little bit in the ground. We're going to be sure to go 3 to 4 feet, which is pretty deep in there. And then if we're using a post pad as well, you're going to have that underneath it as well. So this is going to be the embedment depth. And here is a photo of us checking. Here we're at about 3.5 feet or 42, 43 inches. And looks like they actually already have the concrete in the base here. Now, number 3 is the skirt board. I said we mentioned this later on. It is now later on. What is a skirt board? It is a treated lumber board installed at ground level around the base of the building. This provides a transition between the posts and metal siding and helps seal the base of the structure. What does that look like? Here is a photo here. It is a In this case, it's wrapped and treated wood that goes at the base. Here it's going to be the protection from the base of the building, the metal, the ground, everything we just talked about. But this is a skirt board guard, and you can see it's even with there's the post protectors again, the posts, skirt board guard. Hopefully that makes sense and you can see that. Now, the truss. This is what we love because we make them here in-house. Every truss is handmade here at Mallet. It is our engineering, our designs, our trusses. We don't buy them from a third-party source. We don't outsource trusses. We make everything here in-house, engineered for your building and your location. Now, a truss is an engineered triangular roof support system designed to distribute roof loads evenly. Trusses allow for large open spans without interior load-bearing walls. It's a super cool process. And if you haven't seen them, which if you've watched any amount of time you have, these are the trusses, and these are our scissor trusses. Again, triangular in shape, and the scissor trusses are going to provide excess amounts of headroom. So if this is the height of your building, say it's a 30 by 50 by 12, your 12 is going to be here. You're going to get all this extra headroom because of the trusses. Now, the girts. This is a word we've heard often, and it took me a while to learn exactly what it is, but let's talk about that. A girt is a horizontal framing member installed between posts along the walls. Girts provide structural support and serve as attachment points for wall panels. So, as this picture shows, these horizontal pieces of lumber are going to be what the metal is screwed into. So this goes into the post, the metal goes on top, of course the barrier, the insulation, all of that, but this is going to be the attachment points for the metal. So a little bit of separation there allows for more distribution of weight. Again, you can see our trusses with our scissors here. There's the skirt board guard again, the posts, the girts, the trusses. So you see the building coming together now. The purlin. A purlin is a horizontal framing member installed across roof trusses to support roof panels. Purlins transfer roof loads to the trusses and provide fastening points for metal roofing. This is your purlin. So it's the same thing as a girt on the wall, however it is on the roof system. And it's going to go on top of the trusses and allow extra contact points here. Helps distribute that weight load, keep the metal down, give it more points to screw in. Now, a gable. This is a question we have gotten probably more than anything. What's the difference in a gable and a wing? The wing's coming up next, but let me tell you what the gable is. A gable is a triangular portion of wall formed at the end of a building where two roof slopes meet. It defines roof orientation and affects door placement and extensions. Basic rule of thumb. A gable is going to be at the front or rear of the building. A wing will be on the sides. Now, wings, like a plane or a bird, are on the side. Gables are in the front and the rear. Think of it like that. But this is a roof gable. You see how it comes straight. It follows the roof line, the ridge line. It just simply extends. So say this is a 30 by 50, and this is a 15-foot gable extension. So now you have a 30 by 65 area here. You could close this in, you could make it a screen porch area, you could even add more metal, make it a little different, you could make it a holding area, whatever you want to do is up to you. But this is what the gable is going to look like. Now, the wing, we kind of talked about that, but a wing is an attached roof extension running off the side of a building, typically supported by posts. It creates covered space for equipment, vehicles, patios, or storage. You're often going to see wings used for parking areas, for storage, for vehicles. Most of your RVs, if it's attached next to a building, it's going to be under a wing. And this is a picture of what a wing is. We tried to use the same building. We got every picture but one from one build here. But as you can see on the wing, just like the gable, you can't see the trusses there, but you're going to have flat trusses here on the wing. And this is going to go off the side of the building, and it's going to provide a protruding portion on the side. So that's what your wing is going to be. Here's the posts that it's supported with, and this is a wing. Moving along, wainscoting. This is a fun aesthetical feature. It also provides a little extra protection on the building. It is a secondary metal panel installed along the lower portion of a wall, often in a different color. It improves durability against dirt, mud, and impact while adding visual contrast. Again, here is the aesthetical feature as well as the benefit because you have an additional layer of metal on the base of your building. This is great if you're going to be weed eating close to the building, if you're going to be doing a lot of yard work out there, and overall just for protection. And this is some wainscoting, a beautiful wainscot job here. It is matching the roof and trim color. So you see that wainscot's going to come up there about 3 feet, 3 to 4 feet depending. And it's just going to go around the entirety of the building. So you see here is the wainscot, the post, some gutters. Here's another wing right here. Beautiful building. Very beautiful, barndominium here. So the ridge cap. This is the top of the building. It is a metal trim piece installed at the peak of the roof where two slopes meet. It seals the roof peak to prevent water intrusion while allowing proper ventilation if it is vented. And this is a picture of the ridge cap. So underneath here is where that ventilation is going to happen as well. But the ridge cap is going to be where these two pieces on the roof come together. It's going to allow for that to be covered, protected, sealed, waterproofed. All that happens with the ridge cap. It also is going to allow for ridge vents if that is a portion of your building as well, hence the if vented. So hopefully that helps a little bit. That's going to be our top terms. We can do this more often. If you have any questions moving forward and feel like asking, please leave your terms in the comments below and we can get to those as well. But that has been our show for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have purchased a mallet building and want to join our Ambassador Club, please comment Ambassador. Ambassador Club is a way for you to assist other potential customers and make a little extra money. So if that sounds fun to you, please let us know. Comment Ambassador. We will give you a call, send you as much information as you need, whatever it takes. And the only entry is you have to have a mallet building. So if you're considering a mallet building, now might be the right time because it's never cheaper than it is right now. So please give us a call at 337-214-0428 or come visit us here at our facility. If you enjoyed this video or found it informational, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, or follow us on Facebook if you're watching. Turn that notification bell on so you can get notified every time we upload new content and educational pieces just like this. I'm Tyler. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tune in tomorrow where Mr. Trent dives real deep into the comparison between the Rival, Classic, Signature, and the Elite, and the difference of cost and value between all 4 building pieces. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.